Bom dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, you gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, Carl Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. How are you doing? Owen's in already. Gary, we've got Thunderduck, T-Duck, Wiseman of the Gumpocalypse, of course, T-Duck and James, and Coach Turner with another fabulous God Squad, growing old disgracefully, tip of the day. Now, I was growing old quite disgracefully late last night in the company of the amazing Austin brothers of Al Viagra, and I have to say, into the early hours of this morning as well. And if you were to ask me how I feel, this is what we were imbibing. Is it imbibing or imbibing of last night? It started with whiskey in the wonderful Priamar, the real legendary watering hole of San Martino de Porto, which was open on a cold but very Christmassy Monday evening, it has to be said, last night. So we met there and saw the Sporting versus Porto match, which was great. Really good, exciting match. I think Pepe got sent off, didn't he? So we're having a great conversation, focusing a lot around light entertainment of the 1970s, as we usually do. And a lovely bifana and some fries and a few whiskies in there. And then we went to the wonderful Casa de Lem cocktail bar, which I featured on the show before now, which I hadn't discovered until, well, knowing San Martino de Porto for about 6 years, but only learning about that with Johnny Cocktail in there a couple of months ago. And we finished the evening in there. And that particular section of the night, which started with a few Superboc Imperials, ended with this rather fine, well, not a concoction, this fermentation, Curvada, the Valia. And the bottle is really like that. And that's how I feel this morning. A little bit wonky like that, but really pleased to see you. Yes, is that a bottle of Curvada? Are you just pleased to see me, I guess you could say. So thank you for being here. Not had that much sleep, but absolutely delighted to be here. And I might have a little snooze after the show or later on today. How you doing then? Let's go to let's. I need a bit of going from Pepe, who got sent off, to a little bit of a pep in my step, which I think God Squad tip of the day, Purveyor Coach Turner is serving up today. Bon dia todos. It's Noah time here in Blighty, though very mild considering we're so close to the festivities. I may be foregoing my walk this morning, so it's peeing down there. Caixa e Gatos in UK. And this morning, of course, we'll see if it's raining in Lisbon, what the weather's like there in central Portugal with Matty, and also staying in central Portugal, going to Quinta Essencial with Jason. It's the Quinta Crew Christmas party today. And yeah, it's around 2 degrees outside this morning. That's why the studio, it's not me, it's not your house, don't worry, it's not your smoke alarm, fridge alarm, or any number of other alarms of the modern world. Yeah, stop now. It's my thermometer alarm, which must be set to around 2 degrees, like a frost alert or something like that. So Coach Turner, very wise, like a cat, staying indoors, standing on the doorstep for 20 minutes or maybe a bit longer, deciding whether he's going to go out or not, and then decides to come back in again for going his walk this morning. The God Squad tip of the day then is, if you started to walk regularly and have managed to build up to half an hour each day, then you can begin to add in a little speed. Now, Chinese Terry of the Austin brothers was doing that last night. He was doing a bit of intermittent exercise and doing some Rocky style, jab and move, bit of a burst of faster walking. Very impressive. Once you have walked, to this morning, once you've walked for 5 minutes or so, and with Gary Austin doing the Is that the beginning of the Rocky music? Something like that, isn't it? The trumpet fanfare. Once you've walked for 5 minutes or so, add in a 20-second burst of faster pace. Confuse everybody. You should begin to breathe more heavily. And who doesn't like to breathe more heavily? At least for 20 seconds. With a raised heartbeat. Repeat every few minutes while you're out and about. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, and this morning's video advent calendar window is the wonderful it's 3 minutes of beautiful choral singing, which I think will move you. We'll have a little recap on where we've got to so far around the globe, around the world, and Portugal with Light Up Christmas for 2023, our tradition, our institution here at Good Morning Portugal. And then I'll play you Silent Night in both English and Portuguese. And it was created originally in German, wasn't it? Silent Night. But anyway, thank you so much, Anna. Normally in VRSA, popped over to Tavira to sing this beautiful rendition of Silent Night that I will share with you this morning as well. So James here at just after 8 with the Bon Dia Gumpers, Feliz Terça a todos, como estão? And a truly bad holiday dad joke warning. Actually, this sound, I haven't read it yet. It sounds terrible. I mean, if James is giving a warning for one of his dad jokes, you know it's going to be really bad. So it seems only right that we give you a little bit of this.
Warning. Warning.
Oh, no!
Oh, yes. Seriously bad seasonal dad joke alert. What did the first... What did the first... a classic. What did the first snowman say to the second snowman? I don't know about you, but I can smell carrots. I like that one. A mindful moment, switching from the ridiculous to the sublime. It is you who are choosing in any moment to be happy, or choosing to be sad, or choosing to be angry, or forgiving, or enlightened, or whatever. You are choosing. You! Capital letters there from Neil Donald Walsh. Excellent stuff. I thought that was James almost quoting himself from the show yesterday. And thank you for the kind comments that came in from some people yesterday about the show. We were talking about happiness and joy and contentment, and had a great conversation with James and Vitor Costa from Portugal. It was really good and very enjoyable. Didn't know we were going quite so deeply into it yesterday, and I'm glad we did, and others were too. Bon dia, Gumpers from T-Duck then at after 8 as well. 6 minutes past to be precise. Bon dia, Gumpers. And responding to the dad jokes, the good God Squad tip of the day, I think he'll respond to the dad jokes too. I went to the mall yesterday and asked the doorman if there was a gym in the building. He wasn't sure because he hadn't met everyone yet. Oh dear. Okay, thank you very much. And good morning, James. And deep thoughts. If you want children to keep their feet on the ground, put some responsibility on their shoulders. Abigail Van Buren, Pauline Phillips started Dear Abby a few months after her twin sister Epi Lederer took over the Ask Ann Landers column. This produced a rivalry and lengthy estrangement. No one likes a lengthy estrangement first thing in the morning, do they? I don't think. Between the two, well, it takes all sorts, doesn't it? Between the two sisters. Oh, okay. And that deep thought then from Abigail Van Buren this morning. If you want children to keep their feet on the ground, put some responsibility on their shoulders. Marvelous. Okay, and I'll keep those dad jokes for later on. We're going to speak to Lee today, hopefully. I've not heard from Lee, or did I get a brief thumbs up? I know I got a call from him. I think it was 1:38 in the morning on Sunday. He does like to ring me from a Saturday night out occasionally. Hopefully he'll be talking to us this morning and checking in on his way to work in Lisbon. I imagine he's getting some work in before the Christmas shutdown. So we'll see if he got the memo and if he joins us. Matty sent a message to say Mayo are going to his place. They've asked if they can do the installation tomorrow. That's actually this morning at 9 o'clock. He said yes, of course he said yes. And then he got an SMS saying it would be between 8 and 8:30. It could be happening now, and we may get live coverage of Mayo turning up at Matty's place and putting fibre up him at his place this morning. So we might get to talk to the Mayo guys. Who knows? This morning. So thank you very much for those dad jokes, which are now starred. Thank you very much, T-Duck. And that's me talking to myself there. Hola, bon dia, amigos, and to everyone this morning. And a lovely picture was sent in from Madeira. This is from Jess. Thanks, Jess, for being so thoughtful here and sending in a picture of you, your daughter Chloe, and Aviva in Funchal. Aviva is our gumper in Madeira, really, who meets up with anyone who goes over to Madeira and wants to reach out and see a gumper in real life. Thank you, Aviva, for doing that. I think you've met a number of people, haven't you, this year? Well, you came over to see us as well, of course, and you've welcomed gumpers in Madeira as well. It looks like you've got your Funchal Christmas fair going on there. How lovely. Jess, daughter Chloe, and Aviva there in Funchal. Thank you very much indeed. Oh, this was an interesting. This was. I'll just pop this. I better read through it actually. This is one of those interesting Facebook questions that you see, and I think it's interesting because it had 400 comments on it. Hey everyone, I'm reaching out to you all today because I've just taken a huge step in my life and I'm feeling a mix of emotions. This isn't Jess, by the way. I'm creating a break there and going on to something new here. Today, I've officially signed and paid for my new home in Portugal. And instead of joy and excitement I expected, this person needs to watch Mindful Migration Monday. I'm listening, caller, and our very own Fraser will be able to help. James will be able to help with this, I'm sure. So I've officially signed and paid for my new home in Portugal. And instead of the joy and excitement I expected, I'm caught in a whirlwind of uncertainty. I know every place has its pros and cons, and I'm incredibly grateful for this life-changing opportunity. However, I can't help but feel a sense of unease. I found the everyday people here, the shopkeepers, the teachers, the strangers passing by on the street, to be wonderfully warm and welcoming, always ready with a smile. However, my interactions with those in positions of power or influence or authority have left me feeling somewhat disheartened. There seems to be an air of indifference, even rudeness, that I've encountered more than a few times. Whenever you push back, even the slightest, it's as if they're saying there's nothing you can do about it, or worse. I'm left wondering if this is a result of me being a foreigner or if it's part of the culture here. For the past 20 years, I've lived in an amazing country where I felt truly at home. So adjusting to a new place was always going to be a challenge, but I want to understand and assimilate into the local culture as much as possible. Is this something common across the continent, or is it specific to Portugal? What do you think? I truly appreciate your honest insights. Thank you in advance, and for your understanding and not severe, maybe there were some severe responses, but sincere responses. And the wonderful thing about this is that, well, there were 400 comments. And it's going to take that person a long time to go through all those comments, isn't it? That's why you need AI with commenting of that scale, just to summarize it for you. So, yeah, was Portugal right for you? 400 comments there. Isn't that amazing? And that is something lifted off social media there. Back to the comments then. Actually, I'd like to have a little sip of my tea. Antonio F is here, Lila is here, and Anna is here. And I'm going to play your wonderful video now this morning. Not before, though, however. Oh, Kent's in also. Hi, Kent. Good to see you here. Joao de Nort. Good to see you. And a nice Christmas greeting. First Bosch Festish, I think, from that we've had. Thank you very much, Owen, for that. Now, if I go to our homepage, that is where the Advent calendar is. So let's have a quick tour of that before we play Aviva's video. Let me just have a quick cough too. Do excuse me. Now, looking at the all the W's, goodmorningportugal.com. Let's light up Christmas as we go into PT24. And I've got an idea for PT24. I'm going to talk about this with my colleagues on the show and with you this morning to tell me what you think of a Portuguese summer of love. We're going to have a spring of hope, aren't we? We're going to have a spring of remembrance and hope, I suspect, because of the Carnation Revolution, which leaves the months thereafter to be a possible summer of love here in Portugal. More after this and later on in the show. So we were in Spain, first of all, on the 1st. James took us to Ericeira. We went to Martin Jarl's various premises around Portugal, the Lisbon, down in the Algarve, and in Cascais. Then we went to Agadir, and we talked, or Miguel told us about traditional Portuguese Christmas in a video from the Wine Club. Went to the Roonies near Obidos, Alcobaça area. We went to Madeira with Aviva. Deagle in Belfast, and there was a quiz. That was Leiria from the coach when I was on the way to the Coimbra Discovery Weekend. Ben Apple's Christmas song, great video as well. Cheers, Ben, for letting us play your music. And we got a tune from Peter Farry to come tomorrow, I believe. Peter Farry's Father Christmas song is superb. The Denorts back in Portugal, and then we went to Wales. And after Wales, we went kind of to France, but with the Frenchman Philippe Starck talking about the spirit of Portugal, which is very beautiful. Christmas when you have the Noughts are well represented because we went back to John and Pam's to see what Catface had done to the Christmas tree, then to New York. The Caldash Crooner yesterday, we played that yesterday, didn't we? Oh no, that was from the weekend, but yeah, we did play it yesterday. That was Saturday's. And Les's rendition of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which was very good and got some love yesterday. We got a poem from him coming up. That will be tomorrow. That's right. Les's poem, Christmas Fair, is hilarious. We were in Ireland with Victoria at the Temple Bar. We went to Sintra with Druba and had a Nepalese-flavoured light up Christmas there yesterday. And today we are going to Sweden, we're going to Sweden via Tavira, and we're going to hear now a beautiful choral version of Silent Night, which I'd like to share with you now as I sip on tea and take this in with you. So it's very beautiful. And if you want to sing along, you can. The last two verses in Portuguese. So enjoy. Get 3.5 minutes. I would invite you to sit back and enjoy this and really let it touch your soul. I think that's the beauty. Morning, Gary. How are you this morning? I was just saying, Garvo, I don't know if you saw earlier on. I feel like what we were drinking last night, this morning, the Curvada de Velia. Excellent to see you. And we had, as I recall, we had some kind of weird ceremony at the rail at the bar where I became an honorary Austin brother, if I remember correctly. Absolutely beautiful moment. Did you receive? I did receive your video. I'll play that as well, Antonio F. So yes, going back to this beautiful video then, I invite you to really take this in. Take a breath. And really, breathe out, let go, leave your worries on the doorstep for a moment, and let this touch your soul, and let this come to you in the true spirit of Christmas, in which I believe, I'm certain is intended. Joy, peace, goodwill, all those lovely things about Christmas, I think, can be transmitted beautifully in this wonderful video sent to us by Anna. So do please enjoy this. Oh, wasn't that lovely? Thank you so much, Anna, for sharing that. And that was in a Tavira church there. And can you put in the name of your choir? It sounds like something you might buy. No disrespect meant here, but it does sound like something you'd buy at IKEA. The name of your choir, and that was the coro. Could you give us the names of the main choir and your choir, please, Anna, so we can appropriately and quite rightly acknowledge you and your beautiful performance there. That was so good, and it's on our homepage if you want to have a listen to that. And a lovely poem to come from Les soon. He's in his 90s. He sang Rudolph for us, and he's written a poem which he shared with us as well. Poetry to come from Owen as well this morning. So thank you very much for Owen. For that, Owen, I'll come back to that. But Anna, that was so beautiful. Thank you very much. It is the Quinta crew Christmas party this morning. Let's give them a nice big round of applause. We've got Jason joining us later, but we've got Matty and Lee joining us now. Morning, Head Gardener, and we've got. Let's say hi to Lee first. Where are you, Lee? In a cafe or a police station?
Yes, I'm in a cafe. It's unexpected pleasure. I weren't prepared for this one. Excuse me. No, sorry. Well, wait a minute. I'm being talked at. One moment.
All right, I'll come back to you. He's in Lisbon. Well, he had it coming, really. He was phoning me at 1:30 on Sunday morning, so I kind of got him back there. Matty, how are you this morning?
I'm okay. A little bit under the weather, a little bit coughing and constipado, as they say in Portuguese.
Yes, absolutely. What a trooper, though. You're here with us this morning. It does look a bit cold in central.
Yeah, it was. Let me turn you around.
Oh, look, it's frost on the ground, isn't it?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful, though. I mean, I'm sure that scene tonight would go beautifully with the Silent Night we were just playing. And did you have mayo turn up? Have you had fibre put up? You?
Well, the funny story is the technician was here, looked at it, and then he said something like, "I need to go back to Mayo house." I don't know what he meant. Maybe he needs to check on the connection that it's correctly fitted or what. I don't know. But he said he will be back within half an hour.
Right.
So he could be back anytime.
Oh, that's exciting. So we might have a live Mayo installation at Quinta Essencial there. We'll get an update from you. I don't want to keep you standing out in the cold for too long if you're not feeling very well. Lee's got his coffee. He'll be sparking up and having a smoke on his way to work, I suspect, this morning. How are you, Lee?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm at work. I'm right outside my first job. It's the next building, so.
Wonderful. And isn't that a lovely thing about Portugal? Wherever you're working, you're never far from a coffee. And I can see the sunshine reflecting beautifully on the window behind you. Looks like a lovely morning in Lisbon this morning.
It's a bit nippy, but it's nice enough. It was 5 in Sintra and frosty, and I'm over by Caparica now, and it's 3. It was 3 when I got off the motorway, so yeah.
Always comes as a surprise.
They're just taking the bins in.
Oh, okay.
The
Portuguese had made a little video short yesterday. He was moaning about some people say there's 300 days of sunshine here. And I said, lighten up, get over yourself. Oh, look, we've got a live temperature reading from central Portugal as well. And I had to tell him to get over himself. He's breaking ice over there, but it's only for 1 or 2 days of the year. I mean, this isn't unusual, is it? It's taken us by surprise, this cold weather, and we didn't come here. It's not unusual.
It's a little bit early this year. The last couple of years, it's always been in the new year and the January, start of Feb. But it's cracking, isn't it? It's good. I like it.
Yeah, and there's a man who works outdoors. He's not fazed by it at all. It's killing all the bugs in the ground, isn't it? And doing something important to the soil.
It destroys the black flies. It breaks down the soil. It's great. Yeah, we need it. We don't get enough of it. If I'm being honest.
Right.
I prefer a proper cold winter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you're used to that. You grew up with that, of course, didn't you, in the UK? And you had to manage that. Are you having a break this Christmas? Are you shutting down on Friday?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah.
And then
back in work Monday.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, fair enough. Yeah. Well, we would love
Christmas and New Year's fell perfect again this year for work for my roster, so I'd have to change anything. I'd have to adjust anything.
For the self-employed, absolutely perfect Christmas placement. And this is your last appearance this year here on the Good Morning Portugal show. So it'd be lovely to hear your thoughts and aspirations and hopes for 2024 and what you'd like to see. Same for you, Matty. How's it going? Give us an update then at Quinta Essencial there. We've chronicled and you've shared your progress, creating your own dream home in central Portugal. It's not been easy, but we do get it. We get it. There's going to be a dream home and a labour of love. How's it going at the moment, Matty?
Well, the status at the moment is that the installation of the solar system is finished or done, and it's working fine. It's already generating power by that little amount of sun, so that's good. And like I said, I'm supposed to have internet from Meo here today, and I'm gonna stay here all week because if my internet is here, I can upload my videos from here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have so much more work to do. I don't know where to begin if I want to tell you, but yeah, it's nice. And about the weather, I mean, this is gorgeous. I mean, blue skies, although it's cold, it's like around freezing point, or it was, and but I like the dry cold, not the wet cold. You know, with rain or snow. Although snow is not too bad, but the air is also very dry. I think.
Yeah.
So it's very nice.
Yeah, you haven't got a wet winter. It looks like it's hard on the ground there, and beautiful sunshine this morning for both of you. And so well done on the solar installation, and it's in and it's creating power for you. And then what I heard you say was, and then I've still got loads more work to do. And that's the thing, isn't it? When you're doing these sorts of renovations and development, you know, there's never-ending list of jobs to do. What's next on the list?
Well, I am going to install the power outlets in my tech room, and my carpenter is back in Portugal. He will, as far as I know, install my new front door for the tech room this week. So then I can even lock it. Although if somebody really wants to break in, it's not a big hassle because it's so. Yeah, I mean it's remote a bit, so if you really come and do whatever you want, there's nobody will hold you back unless I'm here
with the dogs.
I'll be up there in about 5 hours.
He's created an alibi, pretending he's at work today. He's on his way.
I'm going to return my cup. I'm setting off.
All right, mate. Okay, so the door on the tech room, that's the heart of your place, isn't it? I guess the tech room. You need to be building your life around your work, presumably. Maybe we might be saying goodbye to Lee now. So we'll come back to you in a moment, Matty. Lee, have a great day.
No, I was only joking. I'm just readjusting myself. I'm getting comfy in the van. It's warmer in here.
All right. Yes, it is. It's nice it's a greenhouse effective vehicle, isn't it, when you go outside? It's absolutely lovely. Yeah, Matty, you're building your tech room because, of course, you need that, don't you? You're going to be working from home, and that is the heart of your enterprise there.
Yeah, well, it's the only room I have with a roof. So
okay, so there's that reason as well. Okay.
And it's gonna hold all my stuff when I move out from Pombal.
Yeah.
I needed to get it done and ready to receive all my stuff.
Yeah.
I already bought shelving, and I need to put up the shelving as well so I can store the boxes and stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the idea is to move out from Pombal ASAP.
Okay, good for you. All right, and then and give us a sense of what needs to be done there without depressing yourself too much. I mean, we've got Nubianette saying, Matty, I've been watching your videos, more work than I'd ever dream of doing. But we're right. I was going to say we're right there with you. Some of us are literally. I mean, some of the man cave guys will be coming to help you. Everyone else will just be shouting from their various parts of the world. Yes, Matty, you've got this. What else have you got to do? It sounds like quite a lot of roofing needs to be done at some point.
Yeah, at some point, but that's not my focus right now. What I still need to get done is the water solution.
Yeah.
So I have a company that will drill a borehole, but I asked them last week. So when you're coming over, and I haven't heard from them yet.
Okay.
So that's a little bit worrying. But then again, it's Portugal, and you could reply, "Oh, we will be there tomorrow." At some point.
And that's a borehole for you. So you're self-sufficient by the sound of it on power. So water will be the next thing. You'll have your own water on the land there.
Yeah, I already have a well, I had it tested, and he had a coli bacteria in it, and I couldn't get around to clean it. So I decided to get a borehole, which I hope and assume will be fresh drinking water.
Wow.
From, I don't know, 40, 50, 70, 100 meters deep. I don't know.
Wow. Okay. Can't you just
whatever
chuck
it
some bleach down there, Lee, and get rid of that E. coli? No. Okay. All right. We've got a few hellos coming in. Gary Mills is with us. Bon dia all. Owen, in of course, will read your poem later on. João de Norte, bon dia alegria. A little nippy, 2 degrees this morning. Wow. Kent, man, cave of Kent. Clear sky. And Kashkai, I think he's here because you guys are. And we've got Antonio F, of course, who sent a video in of a piano that will play. Well, we won't play the piano. We'll play the video of someone playing the piano at a Lisboa railway station, I believe. Yes, we did receive that video. And Leela is here as well. Good morning to you. And Paul, Louise, and Lottie, I think, drawn here again by talk of the Quinta crew. What are you growing can anything grow at the moment? Will Louise be growing something, do you think, Lee?
Well, Matty should have his potatoes in by now. He should have his carrots in.
Yeah.
Beetroot should be in. You can still get some lettuce available at the moment.
Lettuce?
So, yeah, you can still buy lettuce now. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Get it in, keep it covered with a bit of straw. It'll be perfect for the spring.
How lovely.
It'll be ready for spring. It's nice to see Kent's messaged in.
Yeah.
He went missing in action at about 3:30 on Saturday morning.
Yes.
He thought we'd lost him. Yeah, Sunday morning.
You called
Saturday night, Sunday morning.
Yeah, that's when I got my call, wasn't it? A couple of hours before Kent went missing. So thank you for that call. Doing a grand job, Matty. So you're getting encouragement. This is great. Well done, Matty from Squire of the Shires. Good morning to you, Squire. And smash that lighter from T-Duck. And everyone who likes the show today will have a wish come true. So T-Duck giving out wishes as well. Which brings us on to the year ahead. Gents, I wonder if, Matty, I guess it's fairly self-explanatory for you. 2024, you'd like to see some progress at the Quinta, I'm guessing. Anything else you'd like to add? This is your last performance, as it were, on the Good Morning Portugal show. What are you looking forward to in 2024?
Well, I'm looking forward to be full-time on my farm, of course, and start to plant something. Haven't had time to create any fields or what you call it for putting in anything Lee said just about now.
Yeah.
So it's for me, the focus is purely and solely to get out of Pombal and be here full time.
Yeah.
And once that's accomplished and I can actually shower in my mobile home,
yes,
which is also nice, then I start looking and thinking about where to put anything I want to eat later.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so you're working through that hierarchy of needs. I mean, food's fairly important, but you do have shops in that part of Portugal, and you just need to get the infrastructure right in the house there, don't you? Any more wishes for 2024? I mean, you've got so much going on. The pain therapy, pain management business, how's that going?
Well, I had a couple of appointments in Ansiao. I think it's a little bit complicated with dealing with Portuguese people that are not speaking English, and my Portuguese is still not good enough. Although we had a translator in the sessions, it's difficult.
I see. Okay. All right. So that's a work in progress as well. As your Portuguese develops, so might your business. All right. Well, thank you, Matty, for that. We're keeping an eye on Mayo. Feel free, if you've got to run off, or if you need to get inside your vehicle away from the cold, do that. You said you weren't feeling that well.
Fine. I'm wearing 4 layers. So
good lad. All right. You know how to manage the environment there, obviously, already. Bon dia Lee from Pete. Saturday was awesome. Thanks, mate. Matty, Carl, Noob, Bravo, and Big Tony. Sounds like Pete had a good time with you as well. And Louise is
Pete's on holiday. Peter, what are you doing watching this rubbish? You're on holiday. You should be drinking tequilas by the pool, not watching us.
Yeah, Pete. Growing ready for Cheia de Natal, lettuce, leeks, Brussels sprouts, all these traditional things that we'll talk with Jason about as well. Cabbage and turnips. I'll be sowing beetroot, onion, and leek seeds later. She's growing from seed. She's a proper gardener there, right? growing those things from seed. So well done, Louise. Thank you very much for those. And Larry, bon dia, got the keys to the apartment, got the okay from the Alcobaça City Hall. Looking forward to the return and more time in San Martino de Porto in 24. Muito obrigado to all are helping us. That is great news. Well done, you two, to Larry and Linda. Right, Lee, your hopes for 2024. I mean, this could be anything from global politics right back to the cabbage patch in the back garden. What are you hoping for next year?
I don't know. I'm already booked up till April. We've got 1 week off between New Year and April, so just working. just working.
Someone's got.
Although I found a shop that does meat up near you, does English sausages and bacon.
Back to the bacon.
Up near, yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a drive up with Carl one day and come and.
Oh, good. Let me know when you're coming, because we have Bobby O'Reilly asking where he could get a Christmas ham from. Now, I imagined that Back to the Bacon might have that. Sent in the link. He's in the car on his way. So we managed to solve that mystery of getting a Christmas ham. So just lots of work for you, right? Next year, get your head down.
Yeah, loads of work. A couple of days back in England earlier this year.
Right.
Trying to arrange a trip to Budapest or Prague for a weekend away. Yeah. I'm going to try and take a few more days off this year because I think I must have done 20, 22 last year or this previous year, and that's not enough. So, yeah, okay. Sandra's having a go at me about working too much.
Okay. So. Well, good luck with that for the new year. Now, I've got a little bit of an idea. There is, of course, a very busy year for Portugal next year. There's going to be an election in March.
Good luck with that.
Okay, we'll come back to that in just a moment. And we've got the 50th anniversary of the Carnation Revolution. Now, I think if all the focus is on the Carnation Revolution, people may not be thinking about what happens in May of next year. Now, I'm proposing, in many ways, I think Portugal is the new rock and roll. Okay, and this could be a special moment in human history. And we could have a Portuguese summer of love after the spring of hope and the memory of the Carnation Revolution. What do you think? I mean, I think all the conditions are set right for Portugal to have a summer of love in 2024, 50 years after the Carnation Revolution, the most fearsome party animals of Europe, if not the world, having fun, showing the world how it's done, in all that we love about Portugal. Are you in, gentlemen? You first, Matty.
For what?
I just said that, a summer of love here in Portugal.
Oh. Sure, why not? You don't really need a reason to have a festa in Portugal, do you?
No, because you just have to walk, or get in your car and you'll find one. Especially if you set out about midnight, there'll be just you just follow the music and the lights. But I'm just thinking, this could be a moment in history. We're in somewhat weird times as a species, I think, on this planet. And it's time for a world event of this kind. Swinging 60s, you had punk in the 70s. The 80s were a bit weird. Nothing that amazing happened in the noughties, I don't think. And then we've had these weird few years. And we need an amazing moment to celebrate all that is great about humanity and being a human being. And I think Portugal could pull it off. I've got a feeling that I'm talking to the wrong guys here. You don't look exactly...
Yeah, no. Yeah, I love your optimism.
Right, but
I'm waiting for the next plague. There's gonna be another one before the end of the year. Don't worry about it. I'm looking forward to the lockdown and less traffic. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for a better plague where I get a longer driving experience where there's less cars on the road. 2 hours to get home last night. 2 hours. That never happened during COVID. During COVID, it was 35 minutes maximum.
Okay.
Sick of it.
It's not what I was hoping for, but okay, thank you for your honest response to my idea. I think Jason's a bit more of a hippie like me, I think, and he might be a bit more up for it. But okay, I started launching the idea of the wrong people this morning.
I think Jason could give you a hand with that.
Yeah,
he did organize festivals in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a festival that will be remembered in 2044. They're going to look back. Do you remember what happened in Portugal in 2024? It was amazing after their Carnation Revolution celebrations. Right, Pete, someone, not me, has one hell of a hangover. we got in later this morning than we did on Sunday. Honestly, a pin dropping will ignite the wrath of Satan. So keep your voice down. Lee, don't forget you're camping as well in Romania. You know why. A Romanian camping trip. Can you say any more about that?
No, we're going to go to Pete's in spring, probably late April, early May. Take Carl's kids up and have a proper camp out in the garden.
All right. So Pete, aka Romania. Also remember what you're doing on your next birthday, Lee. What's going on here with this then? The man cave are giving all your secrets away.
Oh, I'm 50 this year.
Oh, are you really? Don't look a day over 49, does he?
Gonna be a proper man cave barbecue this year.
Okay. All right. Oh, look at this. James, good morning to you. Had an Irish Christmas party. It was brutal. Whiskey and Kaylee equals a hangover. Good morning to you, James. A new name on the screen. So, yeah, who else has been partying and getting in the mood for Christmas? What sort of Christmas have you got planned then, Matty, given your circumstances at the moment?
Well, I'm gonna be on my farm. There is a festa, of course, in the village, and I got one guy said that we gonna burn the wood in front of the church on the 24th. The other one said on 25th. So I have to check out both dates. But
okay,
there's a huge stack of wood in front of the church. You have to drive around actually.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious if they're gonna really light it and if the church will be damaged because it's so close to the church.
Is it?
We'll see.
Oh, yeah. I'll come back to something on that note that was very interesting when it came.
I've seen that before. I've seen it before when they do it in the central square, and it's always got a church next to it.
And you jump over the fire, do you, into the new year, as it were, and the light returning. Not.
You wouldn't jump over Simone's Avsaw. Simone's Avsaw are huge. Yeah, they'll be all jumping over that.
Yeah, so, the wood is piled up like 4 meters high. Good luck jumping over that.
No, when it dies down a bit, I think it's a tradition, isn't it, to jump over the fire? It's symbolically. Be careful if you're doing that. What sort of Christmas are you planning, Lee? Family one?
We've got a very traditional family Portuguese Christmas. Sandra's took the week off this week to prepare for it because
that's great, isn't it?
With Sandra's mum living at ours at the moment with the baby, everyone's going to be at ours this year. Everything's happening at ours, Christmas and New Year. So yeah, it's going to be a busy one for us.
Good for you. And we still want to talk to your wellies about their new catering business. Let's get them on the show in the new year as well. Yeah.
I think. Well, I've already mentioned it to them, and I think you'd really enjoy the conversation with them.
Well, that's
and on that note,
I'm
going to have to get back at work. So, good morning to all the man cavers, and Jason's there. I'll just say good morning to Jason.
I just wanted to say good morning to this because look, he's got a beautiful blue sky there as well. Morning, Jason. How you doing?
Morning, guys. Yeah, doing good, thank you. Morning, Lee. Morning, Matty.
Right. Good morning, Jason. Jason, I'm just off to. I'm just off to work, buddy. So love you and leave you.
All right, mate.
Love to the family, Jason. Ciao.
Good day.
There he goes. Looks like a beautiful day there, Jace. How's it going in Central Portugal?
It is a beautiful day. It is very, very frosty.
Right. Okay. So you've had to cover things up with straw. Have you take the necessary precautions in the garden?
Only just my trees, my baby trees.
Okay. All right. So have a little bit of a tour. How lovely. Do love this when we go to Quinta Essencial. What have you shrouded them? Is that what you're doing at this time of year? With sackcloth?
So these are like the baby trees that I put in last year, and things that I'm thinking of planting later this year.
Yeah.
And so just wrap them around with a bit of fleece.
Oh, look.
Just so they don't get cold at night. And then give it another hour. Once it's warmed up, I'll open them up so they can get a bit of sunlight on them.
Mm-hmm.
But when I first started, I was trying to plant 20 trees at a time and realizing I just didn't have the time or the energy to be able to deal with them all.
Yeah.
So now I do 3 a year, which is much more manageable.
Yeah.
And means that they might actually stand a chance of surviving through the winter because it does get cold here.
Sure. What sort of temperatures are you talking about? Are you below freezing there?
Oh, it was last night.
Was it?
I reckon it hit 0 last night. But give it another 20-30 minutes, the sun comes up over the hill and like all the frost just disappears. We never get anything that really stays for too long.
Definitely like this then. That's what it's going to be like for you today, by the look of it. Your weather forecast perishing earlier.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. No, we love that about Portugal. And I mean, I'm just seeing your blue skies there. It looks absolutely beautiful. You know, this is part of Portugal. It's absolute best, even though it is cold. We've still got that beautiful blue sky. And I want to talk to you, Jason. I think I'm going to get a better reception from you about the Portuguese Summer of Love following the Carnation Revolution celebrations next year. But we'll need to talk to you, of course, about what you're growing as well and what you're selling in the shop. You sent me pictures of sprouts and parsnips. How's that going? Are people, as well as wanting bacon and ham from around the place, are people taking you up on your offer of parsnips and Brussels?
Very much so.
Oh,
I'm not going to lie to you. They've been like our best seller over these last 2 weeks.
Superb.
And all Thursday through till Saturday, I've got a big list in the shop which shows who's coming at what time to pick up their reserved parsnips and Brussels sprouts.
Cool.
Ready for Christmas Day. Yeah, it's been really good these last few weeks. We've done a few markets and stuff. So been seen Pie Natal a few times in the last 2 weeks.
Wonderful. Yeah, excellent. So things beginning to feel a lot like Christmas at Quinta Essencial. So your hopes then for 2024, presumably to have the business keep growing, more trees in the ground, just generally sort of keeping on as you're doing.
Yeah, I mean my hopes for 2024 is that I get to spend less time building stuff and more time actually in the garden. That said, today's going to be a big day for us because way back in, I think it was about June time, I purchased a second-hand polytunnel.
Oh, right. Okay.
But it's taken me from then till now to get it down.
Right.
And so it's 8 meters wide, 24 meters long, and 4.5 meters high.
That's a big polytunnel.
It's a big polytunnel, and myself and the wonderful Oriole.
Yeah.
In between opening a business, getting a teenager to school and home again and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We've been taking it down over that period of time. But I dug out the last post yesterday. And so it doesn't sound like much, but it's got 32 posts in total.
It sounds like a huge structure. What are you going to be doing in there?
We've got some plans for it. I've already started growing a couple of trees. I want to try and get a mango tree in there. And we're going to try and grow some slightly more tropical fruits. I'm after a Madeira banana plant, if anybody has one or knows where I can get one.
Yes.
And then we're also hoping to do a load of heritage seed plant starts, and then we're gonna grow some more things that I call like celebrity veg that need to be a little bit warmer.
These are the things that a celebrity chef will mention one weekend or on a video, and then the next thing people are asking you for your dwarf asparagus or something like that, or microgreens. Yeah, these sorts of things.
Yeah, well, it's been. I mean, I've got tons of microgreens at the moment. They're just not growing in the traditional way, but where we had all of our celery growing, it all went to seed, and I must have 10,000 celery plants coming up at the moment, which are all about that big.
Wow.
That's one of my jobs today is I'm going to scoop a load of those up and put them in seed trays. And then they'll get planted out a little bit later again. Just keep them going.
Yep.
But no, it seems like we have vegetables that your average supermarket and shop doesn't have. We've been doing things like found some incredible spring onions. We do fennel bulbs and celeriac and all sorts of nice squashes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
as well as the normal Portuguese fare.
Yeah, sounds lovely.
Yeah, and so yeah, I just want to spend more time in the garden for 2024.
Yeah, fair enough. That's what you came here for. That's what you do. That's what Quinta Essencial is all about. So back to basics there. That's not a polytunnel, apparently. It's a hanger, says Louise, who knows a thing or two about gardening as well. Wish for the new year from Joao Denor. Yeah, keep these coming in. What are you hoping for? This is our last week of live streaming, and we will have a party on Friday. And then we'll be back on the 1st of January. So get your Christmas wishes coming in. If you want us to send a message to anyone overseas, and you can tell them to watch the show and we'll read out your message. You can even come on the screen and do it yourself. You'd be very welcome to do so. A wish for the new year to find some proper bacon somewhere up here. American bacon might not be the same as the British bacon. I'm not sure. However, James says international stores like Glued are best bet for bacon, apparently, if you're after the sort from Ireland or the UK. Thais, Kira is here. Hola, bon dia. Thank you for saying hi this morning. Oh, we're in the shop. Just made to Porto from the US this week. Loving the sunshine and crisp weather. Great conversation this morning in real time. Lovely to see you here. Well done. Congratulations on that. And Antonio F. also delighted that you're enjoying it so far. Now, I didn't get a very good reception for my Summer of Love idea here, Jason. You might be more the festival guy and more in tune with the spirit of the 60s when the Summer of Love in the Golden Gate Park was, I think, an amazing cultural event, and it was in turbulent times. You know, if I was doing a bit of research on it and what that meant, the young people of America were in quite a turbulent post-war period. They had baby boomer, and they were looking for something new. They were looking to expand their minds. The Vietnam War was going on. They wanted something different. And I think we're in similarly challenging times where a cultural event of that kind could be amazing. And I think Portugal could host it after its Carnation Revolution. What do you think? Are you with me? Matty and Lee weren't that bothered, quite frankly.
I mean, you've managed to combine two of my favourite words in one sentence: summer and love. And so we're off to a great start. I mean, I think what a wonderful place Portugal would be to showcase something like that.
Yes. Exactly.
In many ways, it embodies many of the ideals that the Summer of Love, the original Summer of Love, was trying to propagate, which was, as far as I can make out, was community, acceptance, and integration, you know. And so team that up with some, I don't know, techno fado fusion music, and you could be onto a winner, Carl.
Now you're talking. I think all the elements are here for us to create an epoch-defining moment here in Portugal. You know, there's the standing culture, the party animals that the Portuguese are, and I mean that in the best of ways. Understated, incredible partiers, the Portuguese people. The lifestyle that we love and come here for, and this period, the post-pandemic period, a new vision for humanity. A lot of people have forgotten how to enjoy themselves, I think. Some of the rest of us might need to join in and show them how to do that. And it's a lot of what people say they want, isn't it? Like the words you use: community, connection, and a different vision for the future. I think it could all come together in a perfect storm here. So thank you for that. James Campbell has some techno fado already on. The plan is coming together, despite Matty's and Lee's reticence with this. I think the plan is coming together, and your vegetables are being admired. Most beautiful looking produce. I'm a bit jealous, says Nubianet. So does that sound any better to you, Matty? Are you inching your way slowly to? No, still not. Okay. By the way, best Christmas treat you can give yourself: moscatel with banana, like in Braga. Started this Portugal tradition for my birthday on Christmas Eve last year, and I have to have it every year. So is that like a banana flambe? It sounds like you should use a Madeiran banana for that. So I imagine you mentioning that triggered that for James. So you have a banana split, put some moscatel and set fire to it, maybe. I meant to ask Lee about this new research, which I think will be of interest to you, Matty, and to you, Jason. I'll pick a frosty garden with ice on the pond. Just said, okay, I'll feature that as we're just concluding chatting to Jason and Matty here. Some research came out. I think it was Coimbra University, which will be important to you, I think. It was about this ground clearing near properties. And a research project came out to say that all the ground clearing people have been ordered to do and find if they don't do makes very little difference to fire security on the land. Did you see that, Jason? And what do you make of it?
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that at all, if I'm fair. But around here, there's just been a big drive, and they've put out that the landscape around us might change,
Right.
because I think they're going to look at fire management for like the eucalyptus.
Yes.
And take a bit of a different approach to it. I mean, I think ground clearance does work. Everybody's got trees on their properties.
Yeah.
And so what you're doing, by what I understand, when you clear the ground, and so you haven't got any long dead grass or leaves laying around, what you do is you prevent the fire from traveling along the ground.
Yes.
And so it might go from canopy to canopy, but it's not going to sweep all the way through the floor. And so that's the difference between setting fire to the tops of the trees and setting fire to the trees at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there is always going to be differing views on any subject that you would care to mention.
Yeah.
And so, as with all scientific pursuits, someone has paid for that study to be done.
Yes. Oh, cynical. Okay.
Well, no, I think that I don't even think it's cynical. I think it's like a known way of how things are done.
Who pays the piper calls the tune. Absolutely, yeah.
To a degree. Even if they said you don't have to clear your land anymore, I don't think that would stop me from doing it anyway. Okay,
fair enough. Some land management, yeah. And it was I just thought it was interesting. It's like so many of these things you see where a government and says follow the science and makes you do something that in retrospect is not necessary. We know all about that, don't we? Matty, you've got a lot of ground to manage there. Is that music to your ears that you might not? Well, I don't know. It's not going to. I don't. As Jason says, it might not change the legislation, but I'm sure you've got a view on that.
It doesn't matter to me, to be honest. My grass field is maintained by a flock of sheep for my neighbor.
Yeah.
So I don't have too much work on that anyway. And the rest of my land, I still need to decide what I do where, but I keep it down as much as I can.
Yeah.
So the hardest fight is with the brambles, because they tend to come back.
And again, it's like a Terminator, isn't it? What should he do with brambles, Jason?
Oh, mow them, just keep mowing them.
Yeah.
And then all the people I know have had great success. Once they wait until the first next lot of shoots come out, and then they spend the next 3 years pulling it out by the root after each time they've cut it. Otherwise, you could get goats and pigs.
There you go. Get goats and pigs, Matty. That shouldn't be too much of a no. Okay, all right. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. Thanks for everything this year. The Quinta crew have been here this morning. We've had Lee on, who loves to pop in while he's having his cup of coffee and a smoke on his way to work. Thank you to you, Lee. Thank you, Matty. Good luck in 2024 with all that you're doing, and we're thinking about you. With what you're doing there, and hopefully you'll get a successful Mayo installation of fibre, and that will change the game, and you'll get your borehole drilled soon.
I haven't seen the technician back since he left for half an hour, which was about an hour ago. We'll see how that goes.
Good luck. Let us know what happens there. So
it's cold.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it just slows things down a little bit, doesn't it? And he may have gone for one of these that James is talking about. Apparently, you have a mouthful of banana and then a sip of moscatel. That does sound good. Sounds like a very grown-up dessert, like ginger and chocolate. Okay, that's interesting. And James also adding to the conversation about fire management or ground management. Biggest thing for fires in Portugal has been species of the trees. They planted too many eucalyptus, and now they're looking at growing some trees which don't burn as much to compartmentalize the forest. Very good. And the ground clearance does work, but only if everyone does it. Is that works for politicians too? Bobby O'Reilly, good morning to you. You have to clear the politicians, but only if everyone does it, maybe. And the loggers are still clearing hillsides of burnt trees here, says Louise. Yeah, of course, because we saw or heard of your amazing experience and terrifying experience there. 6 days a week and still not cleared, sun up to sundown since August. Wow. Lots of love to you, Louise, with that landscape as it is. Must be quite depressing. Hopefully that'll be behind you soon and into 24. And hit that like button, folks, says Antonio. So cheers, Matty. And to you, Jason. What a year it's
Cheers.
been for you. Incredible, right? With Quinta Essencial, your ups and downs that you had there. So have a fantastic year next year.
Thank you so much. Feliz Natal, Boa Festas.
All right, chaps. Nice big round of applause to you. Keep warm and safe there in central Portugal. And we look forward to seeing you on the screens again in 2024. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
All right, there goes Matty, and there goes Jason as well. Don't forget, you can get your sprouts and parsnips from Quinta Essencial if you need those. Maybe expect a visit from Bobby O'Reilly. He's got his ham now, and if you want some sprouts and Brussels, Quinta Essencial, Bobby, if you want to jump in the car and drive over and see Jason there. Okay, I think we'll have a look at some of the news front pages. We've said Happy Christmas to the Quinta crew this morning, Lee, Matty, and Jason there. Let's have a little bit of music, shall we now, from Antonio, who captured this. Was this morning, Antonio? Were you out and about at a Lisbon station, and you saw this morning? Let's play it now. You sent me the message. Let's have a look. We've got... Entre Campos. I like that station. Incredible architecture there. Entre Campos station in Lisbon. Free to use piano. Sometimes musicians with other instruments join in as well. Isn't that lovely? Here it is. Superb. What's great about that clip there, thank you to you, Antonio, with that, is the lady doing the station announcements. To me, that is such a brilliant part of Portuguese or Lisboeta life, is hearing that lovely, sexy lady and her voice announcing all the arrivals and departures of trains there. Love her voice. I imagined that she was the woman who sang The Girl from Ipanema back in the day and then went on to do those station announcements. Does anyone know who that woman is? Wouldn't it be fantastic to get her on the show and to hear her voice live on the show here? A few more comments. And I didn't get to share the dad jokes. I'll share them with you. Didn't get to share them with the Quinta crew lads. We've got, I thought we had some more comments coming in. I seem to have lost them now. Okay, let's go and have a look at the our very own Portugal news and info page, and let's see what's happening there. And we'll take a visit to the Portugal news and Portugal resident to see what's up over there as well. We do our best to bring what we think are some of the most important and interesting stories to you, articles at goodmorningportugal.com on the PT news and info page, which you can see right there. And if I scroll down, you'll see last week we were all over the Costa's successor and Dougie's love of Portugal. Big year ahead for Portugal there. Sarah from Spartan FX with her views on the new year. And we're starting this news week with some heavyweight stuff. Portugal's foreign nationals double in a decade. I think, Antonio, you were sharing some of the data with us about that yesterday. And I've read these two stories out, and they are part of our Portugal News and Information podcast, which is a separate and new YouTube channel, and a huge risk of the far right in Portugal. Now, you're going to be hearing this sort of thing. I think we're hearing this all over the world, aren't we? Interesting thing about this is it's the president of the parliament saying this. And I think he's doing some of his own political maneuvering by saying some of this. You might want to hear this over or you can read it for yourself at our website, and you can hear on Portugal News and Info on our podcast on Spotify. I read these couple of stories out yesterday. Not as typically not as alarming as they first appear. And what was it Lee said? Good luck with that when it came to the election of next year. So I think quite a lot of cynicism around Portuguese politics. We'll see what happens, won't we, in March of next year. So let's go to the home pages then. We'll start with the Portugal news this morning and see what's being said over there. English-speaking Portuguese news at the Portugal news. We'll look at the resident as well. Let me bring the Portugal news onto the screen. Anything that's caught your eye that you want to share with people this morning, do let us know. It feels like we should bring the phone in back as well. Anything you want to say? We can stick with the Christmas and New Year greetings and hope for the new year. or anything you want to talk about. Oh, I see one I want to talk about this morning myself. Portuguese wines in global top 12 best. Got to have a look at that this morning. I'm still feeling a little bit like the aguardente I was partaking in last night with the amazing Austin brothers. Yeah, that's how I feel this morning, folks. Plenty of water and hydration. I'm sure we'll sort that out. Okay, let's have a look at that homepage then of the Portugal news. What do we got? Portugal's 7th. What? For job vacancies? What does that mean? Of the total number of jobs that make up the Portuguese market, less than 2% are currently vacant, is the headline there. Immigrants contribute over 1.6 billion. I think it's worth having a look at that one. We'll come back to that. 19% of properties sold within 7 days. Wow. Yes, talking of migration, it was International Migration Day yesterday, always the 18th of December. So there was some interesting news as a result of that. Porto has announced its Christmas metro times, as well as whilst there are public transport concerns. And FC Porto host the Arsenal up the Gunners on February the 21st. And the sardine quota has been slashed. We might want to have a look at that. If anything takes your fancy that I'm alluding to here, let me know and we'll deeper dive into it. What will petrol prices be next week? Was this like a Mystic Meg, a fuel column here on the Portugal news? Portuguese wines in global top 12. I want to have a look at that. CEF replacement agency facing a tough 24. That's probably one we could take a look at this morning. The beauty of the Portuguese Silver Coast. I've had a look at that. San Martino is not mentioned in that. Cheek. And a new life in Portugal. Did anyone suggest it was going to be easy? I think that's Dougie with his love letter to Portugal. So let's have a look at we've got the immigrants coming to Portugal, coming over here with their 1.6 billion. Immigrants contributed 1.86 billion euros to social security in 2022, while they only benefited from around 257,000 euros in social benefits. That's amazing, isn't it? That's quite a net difference there. This has created a positive balance in contributions. It certainly has a very positive balance from immigrants of 1,600 million euros last year. According to Publico, immigrants account for 7.5% of the total population, which was the highest figure ever, according to the Migration Observatory responsible for the report. The weight among social security system contributors rose to 13.5%. The most recent report from the Migration Observatory also indicates that the trend of foreigners having a greater ability to contribute than nationals continued in 2022. And in 2022, there were 87 contributors for every 100 residents, while for the Portuguese, there were 48 contributors for every 100. Very interesting. Thank you, Portugal News, for that. No comments. I do like to scroll down to the comments in the Portugal News to see what's being said there as well. Let's go back to that. We've got to talk about CEF, I think. And we'll do that first, and then we'll talk about wine. We might need to. CEF replacement agency facing a tough 2024 then. I will make a podcast of this and stick it up on our YouTube channels and on Spotify. The Agency for Integration, Migrations and Asylum. That is a quiz question that might come up. We've got the Portuguese quiz, the Expats Portugal annual Christmas quiz. Quizmaster Jerry, and I'll be hosting that on Thursday at 7:30. So what does IMA stand for? It stands for the Agency for Integration, Migrations and Asylum, and it will face the biggest test of its existence in 2024. Well, it's only started this year, but it promises to regularize pending cases. That's a very cute way of saying getting stuck into the workload, isn't it? Regularise the pending cases resulting of the merger of part of the functions of the Foreigners and Borders Service, CEF, poem to come from Owen as well, remember, and the High Commission for Migrations. The new agency came into operation at the end of October of this year with great promises that to date have not yet been fulfilled. We'll give them a chance. I mean, that is a lot to ask for, isn't it? To coming into force in October after a very difficult birth, it has to be said. I think they need time, and with change, it gets worse before it gets better, doesn't it? To be fair to them, the end of the government and the scheduling the elections in March has put the commitments of the social executive at risk at the time when every day hundreds of requests for regularization enter a system that still fails to provide a sufficient response. By the end of the year, the executive had promised to resolve the tens of thousands of cases of overdue family reunification requests that are causing complaints because it is something imposed by law. Portugal is one of the few European countries that allows an irregular immigrant worker to apply for a visa at the national authorities. And these are the cases that are clogging up the system. All you need is an address, tax number, and an employment contract to make the request, regardless of whether you entered as a tourist, a situation that has led to an exponential increase in requests. The new agency, look at this. The new agency inherited 350,000 pending cases. I mean, that is a serious workload. If you think you got a full in tray, just think IMA for a moment. 350,000 pending cases in October, the last time the numbers were released. Possible solutions then to try to resolve the situation. The now outgoing government promised to invest in modernising the IT system. Now, my immediate response to that is, please don't implement a new IT system as well. Like, go with what you've got. The implementation of IT systems never goes smoothly. And sometimes it doesn't even work at all, does it? Think of the NHS one. It was hugely expensive, and I think it never got implemented properly. And this happens all over the world, I think. So with the portal already open to requests for the granting and renewal of residence permits as part of it, one of the CEF's problems, which was unable to respond to requests and presented several structural problems. You'd think they'd ask some of these digital nomads that are giving visas to come and have a look at the system, wouldn't you? Or develop a new one in parallel. In the first quarter of 2024, the executive said he would launch an operation in conjunction with municipalities and immigrant support offices with IMA resources in citizen stores to meet pending requests. Well, okay, some good intentions there. Let's see how that pans out in 2024. And with a budget of 81 million euros, the new agency has 740 employees. 740 employees for 350,000 cases. That's just part of it, isn't it? And provides for 190 new hires. And in its statutes, the government states that the governance model now determined implements a paradigm shift in the way public administration relates to foreign citizens, whether upon their entry and stay in the national territory or upon their reception and integration. The new model also aims to combat racism and integrate ethnic groups, improving the quality of public services with efficiency gains and the resources allocated to them, maximizing synergies and enhancing their results. That just sounds like a PR agency. Help them write that. No comments yet there either. Maybe they shut them for that particular one. Let's talk for a moment then about Portuguese wine. Come back to the resident a bit later on. And we've got a poem from Owen and a picture from João de Norte as well. Let's just see what's going on in the comments for a moment before we read this Portuguese wine article here. Portuguese wines in the global top 12 best. Oh, I was with, of course, with Chinese Terry, whose suggestion for the wine club for January is wines of 2019. So he's right on it there, all over that, or in synergy with this best wine piece here in the Portugal news. Let's just see what you're saying, though, in response to some of those things in the chat. OLP is here. How lovely to see you. And that's great stats from the Portugal news, says Bobby there. And we've got Antonio urging you to hit the like button. That's what happens when you go out on a 6-hour bender. You end up, thank you, Mrs. M, for being here this morning. That I haven't got the before picture, but that is the after picture. It's true. I can't disagree with you right there. Who else has joined us this morning? OLP has. Hello, all my friendly gumpers. Great to see you here, OLP. And immigrants receive 257 million in social benefits in 20. Oh, okay. Okay, so that's Bobby O'Reilly. I thought when I was saying it's a really positive benefit, not that positive. They received 257 million in social benefits, not 257,000. I saw that mistake in some papers as well. So interesting, isn't it? Fact check. Gary Austin, I thought I was feeling quite good this morning and escaped any major symptoms from last night until I put my cup in the dishwasher, bent down, and my head fell. Oh, dear. And Chinese Terry, I think, is still snoozing. Talking Chinese in his sleep, which he couldn't do when he went to bed, interestingly. Okay, let's have he could talk to Vitor Costa. Portuguese wines then. Did someone mention wine this morning? Not too loud in some certain parts of the Gumper community who've been enjoying their Christmas parties this week. Forbes magazine then has chosen the best wines of 2019, and the list has 3 Portuguese wines in the top 12 places. How about that? Let's find out what they are, shall we? Taylor's very old single harvest port, 1968, €305 a bottle. The red wines Cartuja Peramanca at 2005 wine, which is €460 a bottle, and Casa Farinha Barcavelha, 1999, a mere €563.80. That's an odd number, isn't it? It's probably Eva that's done that. Were the wines distinguished by specialist Eustacia Huyn. That's got to be a great name for a wine expert, isn't it? What makes a great wine? A great wine consistently over the years? Well, there's nothing better to answer this question than a tasting of Barcavelha, the most famous Portuguese wine. In its last edition, 18,000 bottles were produced, which are currently priced at around €600 per unit in Portugal. Whoa, 18,000 of those. Do the math on that. The creator of, am I saying this right as well, Antonio? Barcavelha had the dream of producing great table wine in Douro. And to achieve this dream, he went to France to study and learn from the best. There are 2 references. There are 2 reference red wines of the country. They share a high price, fame, and an exhilarating history. I feel the touch of a PR company again in this article. Portugal produces excellent wines. However, it's always good to know which national specialities are among all those that exist and being recognized abroad. 3 Portuguese wines are on the list of the 15 best wines in the world, a list made by Forbes regarding the best wines of 2019. France has 4 wines in the top 15. So we've got the Scarecrow Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon of 2015 topping that list. And that's €935 a bottle and 96 centimos as well. Can you tell me the most expensive bottle of wine you've had? It's not as expensive as the Domaine de la Ramonnais Conti Burgundy Côte de Nuit 2000 at nearly $4,000 a bottle. What is the most expensive bottle of wine you've bought? I already splashed out and spent nearly €15 the other day. The Domaine de la Ramonnais Conti Burgundy Côte de Nuit, isn't that the same wine, a different year? Yes, 2,800. My goodness. And then you've got, yes, Cartuja coming in there and Casa Farinha as well, and Taylor's joining them this year. This lid is led by the North American Scarecrow. In second place was the Gallic wine, and third and last place on the podium goes to Italian Soldera Tuscan Red 2006 at $475 a bottle. As for Portuguese wines, the best ranked is a port wine at 5th there. Taylor's very old single harvest port of 68. There you go. That's well done, Cartuja, Casa Farinha, and Taylor's, of course, a very famous Portuguese brand of port, known around the world. A journalist that's always eager to learn about new things with a passion for travel, adventure, and writing about this diverse world of ours. Wisdom begins in wonder. Is that a quote from about the journalist who wrote that? Who was that? Who put that together for the Portugal News? That would have been Kate Srinarong, who has a name nearly as good as Eustacia Huyn there. Over at the Portugal News, let's read some poetry and have a look at the picture from João as well. Okay, a new hybrid channel idea from Mrs. M. At 50 plus male binge parties, a hybrid of man cave, men behaving badly, and the GMP wine club. I'm in. Important male bonding time. Louisa, the call of the wild and the tribal instinct. It's like 3 old blokes. Call it that if you want, Carvo. From the outside, it was 3 old blokes laughing too much whilst people were trying to watch football. But really, what was going on? Truly, was the call of the wild. Hoo! And the tribal instinct kicking in. There was a distinct whiff of testosterone throughout the evening, I have to say. OLP, lovely to see you here. And what is wrong with you 50-plus guys staying out like you're in your 20s? Trending right now. What's this? Followed by cringy clickbait morning after titles. I didn't see this coming. One too many. And what happened next? It's always a content opportunity. Louisa, we may be 50s on the outside, but we are still 12, going 13 mentally, and that is generous. Yeah, speak for yourself, Pete. I know some much younger people than that mentally. There's a distinct whiff of spirits. No one's going to watch that. Just the distinct whiff of stale spirits. Although that could be a Lynx fragrance for women over 50, couldn't it? I don't know. Is that going to fly? I bought a champagne. Thank you for this, Nubian. A champagne at $65 French, of course. C'est vrai, bien sûr. And that is generous, Pete. Some capitals for you there, Pete. My hand is really sore. It's not what you think. What is it with Chinese Terrier and that testosterone handshake thing that he does? It's more of a Japanese thing than a Chinese thing, isn't it? The long handshake. But yes, it's all coming back to me now, and that's what the bruising is about. Okay, let's read Owen's poem. And we go to GMP VIP. I think it's going to run and run. Before we go to GMP VIP, I've had a Sonoma Bragia red library wine for $150. It was super yummy, but it's not often we have done this. I was at the winery, so I'm not sure it will be at a restaurant. My goodness. Talking magic. What? Okay, let's go to GMP VIP and look at some lovely pictures, actually. I did invite people to share their pictures over there, those of you who are on GMP VIP. And you did. And we also got a lovely poem from Owen as well. So let's pop over there now and take a look at GMP VIP this morning. Oh, it says this is the Good Morning Portugal show is live. For a moment, I thought, oh, I'm doing it. It's okay. Direct message. A few alerts there. This is what I posted up yesterday. Picture perfect Portugal. Please share your pictures here. The time of year, the weather conditions, and Portugal's natural beauty are coming together to produce perfect visual storms right now. So grateful thanks to John, Joel, Bob, and Colleen for their lovely pictures that you'll see here. And I was urging James, Darren, and Owen to cough up their pickies yesterday, which they did. And a poem from Owen, which I'll read in just a moment. But these are the pictures that I shared this on the show yesterday, didn't I? And let me just skip through these. That's the Boa Vista, the Atlantic view. Don't we live in a photogenic country? See, this is all part of this summer of love thing that I predict for 2024. Following the summer or the spring of hope and the spring of anniversary recollections of the Carnation Revolution, let's go into a full-on Portuguese summer of love. And we need that. What's that? A Verão d'Amor? Can you help us with that, Antonio F? What would be Portuguese summer of love? We need some branding on that. So pictures from all over Portugal here. Amazing. It's incredibly photogenic this time of year. And it's the Lux Brumalis, the sweet, tender light of the pale winter sun. From Darren then, who rose to the challenge as well. Porto, isn't that beautiful? Porto. And another one from Darren as well. Look at that. Beautiful sun setting behind the little chapel there. And then a poem from Owen. Whether or not, I think this is to you Portuguese are moaning about the ice that you've got in central Portugal at the moment. Whether or not, in lands of golden light where skies do perpetually gleam, I choose to brave the tempests for sunshine is my dream. For 65 days of unsettled weather, I'll gladly make the bargain to have 300 days of radiance like a treasure to be found in vain. The winds may howl and whip, the clouds may darken the sky, but with each stormy day my heart does sing. Ah, the beauty that doesn't lie. For in the rain-washed streets, the flowers bloom all the more, and the sunsets, oh so vibrant, paint the horizon once again. So bring on the downpours, let thunder roll and flash, for every raindrop holds a promise of joy to come at last. And when the skies clear up and shades of blue appear, this is Man City, isn't it? And shades of blue appear, my spirit soars anew as if born from the atmosphere. Oh, give me those 65 days of unpredictable grace, for they shall nourish my soul and fill my heart with grace. Yeah, thanks, Owen. And shut up, Portuguesa, complaining about the ice. It's right. We do have these 300 days, don't we? And 65 days is a small price to pay of some colder and wetter weather. Nicely done, Owen. I'm going to give that a thumbs up right there, right now. I could even choose a little gift to go with that. And stand by for more poetry tomorrow. Our Advent video is of Les reading his poem, Christmas Fair. Great job there, Owen. Thank you for those pickies. I'm just seeing Mrs. M's comments here. She's on a roll this morning. Thank you, Darren, as well, for your pictures this morning. So, yes, the Varal d'Amor, that's perfect. That is perfect. We'll roll with that. News from Casagran. Chinese Terry has risen. I'm not sure if I wanted to know that. It conjures up an awful image, doesn't it, possibly? I think there should be a special GMP handshake as well as the rubber suit. What rubber suit? Possibly even a rolled up trouser leg. Rubber suit or plaster-sized bedsheet. Portugal is well placed for the 50-plus binge drinking with all the adult diapers in the supermarket. Nor did anyone else. I felt a little disappointed. I was the only one wearing rubber trousers on Saturday. Isn't that awful when that happens? You turn up and you're the only one wearing your rubber trousers. Oh my God, Mrs. M, 50 years of democracy next year is actually the best time to launch the new 50-plus GMP drinking channel. It's all part of the summer of love. Launch your idea next year. And terrific weather poem. Thank you, Owen, and thank you, Joao, for that. Oh, yeah, your picture, Joao, as well. More pictures coming in. I think that needs to go up at GMP VIP. Frosty morning this morning in PDL. There you go. I think we're going to have Silent Night again. I'm going to play Silent Night. But look at that. The pool, that does look frozen there. And not far from where the poem was crafted as well, in the hills in the background there, up there in the north in Pont Lima this morning. Thanks for that, John. Much appreciated. Last few comments. Oh, dad jokes. Mustn't forget those. What's this? You have a picture? Oh, yeah, I've got. They're not rubber though, are they? Plastic shorts. They were my lederhosen. Actually, I couldn't get the real deal leather. But so I went with plastic, which a lot more, not as durable, but a lot easier to wipe clean. It's somewhere, like so many things on Facebook. So Antonio F. to OLP, 50 years since the fall of the dictatorship. We had a democracy as well between 1910 and 1926. Quite unstable, but yes, it's the big one, isn't it? Next year, 50 years since the Carnation Revolution. And then we can follow quickly after that with the Varal d'Amor. It's got a lovely ring to it. Who doesn't like a lovely ring first thing in the morning? Yes. Is it 50 years of democracy in 2024? Oh, that was Antonio answering that question. So with a couple of minutes to go, I didn't get, yes, they didn't chafe as much. Fly in the studio. Might be attracted to my alcoholic fumes this morning. Something a bit odd about frost on a palm tree. Yeah, you might want to wrap some hessian around that bad boy. This morning and give it a little bit of insulation there, John. Didn't get to the Portugal resident this morning. I could just give you a quick sense of the headlines over there, just to see if you want to go there yourself. Portugal wants EU military training mission in Mozambique to continue. 1 in 4 young doctors, sadly, in Portugal already suffering burnout. And the government concerned about public transport throughout the country, as I saw, actually, a brilliant newspaper article that promised a new airport that was going to be built, I think, between 1978 and 1980. So Portuguese people have been very patient about their new airport. Portuguese show themselves disgusted by recent political scandals in a survey, presumably. Pretty grim, actually. Although the new socialist leader promises to unite his party. But then again, what else was he going to say, quite frankly? Okay, dad jokes then, and we'll go out singing Silent Night. Thanks, T-Duck, for these. I've been repeating the same mistakes for so long now. I think I'll start calling them traditions. Nice one, T-Duck. For sale, polos, chewing gum, toothpaste, and after eights, all in mint condition, of course. And as much as you're groaning, you'll be using 1 or 2 of these later on today. You know you will. What do you call a wreath made out of $100 bills? American currency joke here. Sponsored by Spartan FX. Get your free Spartan FX account at spartanfx.co.uk. What do you call a wreath made out of $100 bills? A wreath of Franklins. The Benjamins right there. Thank you very much for those, T-Duck. So, yeah, let's soak it up again. Had a nice laugh this morning. I need to drink more water and tea and maybe go back to bed for a bit more of a kip. Curvada! How could you? Let's go out with Silent Night, shall we? This is so beautiful. Thank you, Anna, for this. And we've got more to come. Peter Farry, songwriter, wonderful song called Father Christmas. And Les he's in his 90s, still singing, sang Rudolph for us on the Advent calendar. And his poem, Christmas Fair, will be published tomorrow. Oh, actually, if you're a YouTube member, you can see him before they're released as well. Nice little perk there. Have a great day. Enjoy this Silent Night. Thank you for being with us this morning. Take care. Bye for now. And we'll see you tomorrow with Raquel for Hump Day as we make our way towards the festivities this weekend. Take care. Bye for now. Have a good one.